Back with A.R. Bernard and Tom Mullins, and in the break we were just talking about Al Sharpton, and Pastor had said that you were surprised to see him on my show at one point, and I said, you know, there are things that we can disagree on, and disagree on vehemently, and there are things that we need to unite on. There are common values that I think we have lost as a people. Everyone's not an enemy. They do things that we don't necessarily agree with, but they're not, and not everybody's an enemy.
And you should be able to have discussion even with those that
are
disagree
enemies.
with.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's at the table, and you know, there'll be those who ask me, well, you on the Glenn Beck show? Yeah, it's on the Glenn Beck show. So there'll be those who are questioning, you know, me being with you. I appreciate the work that you guys are doing. I think it's twofold. You know, Jesus said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So he really elevated the word of God. But at the same time, he fed the 5,000. He fed the 4,000. So there has to be a balance. We have to be involved in doing everything we can to help those who are less fortunate. But at the same time, we have an incredible book, an incredible standard for living, because Christianity is a worldview. It's a decision that you make as to how you're going to live your life. The church is not a club. It's not a place where we come and we kind of hang out and, you know, we identify with each other. There was a court case, and this changed my life, 1972, and I heard a sermon from an attorney, David Burke, and it was a court case in 1972, the United States Supreme Court, because it got all the way up from the state court in Wisconsin to the Supreme Court, between a guy named Jonas Yoder, who was an Amishman, stubborn Amishman, and it was all over him putting his daughter in public school. And 1972, the United States Supreme Court ruled that all beliefs in America fall under one of two categories. They're either a preference, something you prefer to do, or a conviction, something that is the fiber of your being. And if you don't do it, you feel and believe that you've sinned against your God. They said that you can go out on the corner, hand out tracts, proselytize all you want in the name of a preference. Only convictions are protected under the United States Constitution. They said, well, what's the test? Well, number one, pressure. Pressure of your family. If your family's going to excommunicate you, will you succumb and give up what you claim to believe? If you do, it's a preference. Number two, peer pressure. If your peers put the pressure on you and they're going to disown you, will you give it up? If you do, it's a preference. So number three, if you threaten to go to jail, will you give it up? Threatening with jail time. It's a preference if you give it up. And they said, four, are you willing to die? Suppose you're facing death. Would you succumb and give up what you claim to believe? If you do, then it was never a conviction. It was a preference. Convictions strengthen under pressure. Convictions are non-negotiable. Convictions are a part of who you are. And we've lost the conviction of our faith in this nation. And that's why in our church, we're feeding, we're doing everything we can. But what we're saying is, look, this is a chosen life that is a conviction. Not something you prefer to do, but it's something that you have made fiber of your being.
Do you have any idea now why he has 30,000 people here in New York City coming to listen to him? That is unbelievable. That's what will save our country, what will save our souls. Conviction. Know what it is and find that conviction within you, inside yourself. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Back in a minute. I want to leave you with this thought. It wasn't a preference for him. It was conviction. Find yours. Read this book, Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy, from New York. Good night, America.